One of these people could be winning £10,000. But to do so, they must eliminate all the others in a fight for survival. It's Dog Eat Dog. Welcome to Dog Eat Dog, the show where survival counts and weakness costs. Our 6 contestants will be battling it out over 5 rounds. Each round will eliminate one of them until we're left with our top dog, who could win £10,000. Now, the key to survival is exploiting each other's weaknesses. To help them find those chinks in each other's armour, we sent all 6 of them on a gruelling 24-hour assessment. Just for you at home, here's how they got on. This week, 6 contenders for top dog are Ian Brazil, a 29-year-old telecom consultant from Northern Ireland. He's the ultimate all-rounder. His only stumbling block was in the English test, and none of the others missed it, as it was the only time he wasn't top of the group.
I'm probably more confident than I could walk away with the money on the night. I've seen a few weaknesses in the competitors that I don't have, and I think I'll use that to my advantage.
Anna Brown is a 22-year-old accounts clerk from Thundersley in Essex. The absolute opposite to Ian. Anna's only real skill was words. Though she happily cruised around the assault course, her nerves got the better of her caving, and she couldn't do it at all.
Really scary. People totally underestimate me because of my appearance. I think from when I started, I did do the dizzy blonde thing, like, oh my God, oh no, you know, we're getting muddy, blah, blah. But I honestly love it. I do love it. I've done it before. I blatantly made a point of telling them all I'd done outdoor pursuits before and I want to go in the police and things like that. But they didn't listen because they just automatically assumed, oh, she's blonde, oh, she doesn't like mud, she doesn't want to get dirty.
Chris Walmsley is 36 and a prison officer from Richmond in Surrey. Another great all-round competitor and a real contender for top dog. He led the scores in maths and English. He only faltered once, and that was Mensa, so our logic test could put him under pressure if the others have sussed him.
Business is business, isn't it? So ultimately I've got no qualms whatsoever about stitching them up if I can. And I think the joviality has masked what's really going on underneath. There's a lot of people could do with £10,000 in that group, and I'm one of them.
Steph Kent comes from Epsom, is 23 years old and a dance teacher. As a dancer, everyone expected the physical test to be a breeze for Steph, and she didn't disappoint. However, her maths and English let her down, and there are obvious frailties for the others to pick on.
Definitely, I'd most like to get a physical challenge. Because I'm quite a theatrical person, obviously I've trained as a dancer and a singer, I almost sort of believed that it was a role that I had to play, and I sort of took all that on board, and obviously I knew inside that I had to do it because I did want to prove myself.
1, 2, 3, go! Go! Keep going, Steph, keep moving.
And to be honest, I enjoyed it so much, so I think in that respect I did overcome the fear that I had, so that was good.
Does that feel great?
Nick Parr is a company director. He's 33 and lives in Milton Keynes. Again, Nick's all-round skills showed clearly throughout the assessment, but his keenness to finish everything first led to some silly mistakes, something the others will remember.
One of the girls actually said, "You look a bit like Nasty Nick," and she didn't actually know my name at that point. And I said, well, I'm called Nick, but I wouldn't perhaps say I'm nasty, more ruthless.
And finally, Fleur Soper works in advertising, lives in Surrey and is 28. Maths is Fleur's only mental block. Coming last, she'll be hoping she's not picked tonight. In the caves, she pushed on and made it through even though she was terrified. This is an asset the others will be wary of. She won't let anything beat her.
Potholing taught me an awful lot about people's determination and courage, I have to say, because it has been tough. It's been very strenuous. The squeeze in the potholing was just awful, and I'm dead chuffed that I did it. I'm really pleased with myself. I just thought about my friends and my family and what sort of things they'd say to me if I didn't do it.
I never thought I was going to do that in my life.
Well, how will they use what they've learnt to their advantage? We'll find out in round 1, which tests mental agility. This is how it works. This grid consists of 64 different symbols. When one of them appears in front of you on the video wall, you must press the corresponding button on the keypad. For example, a plane. If you hit the wrong button, you'll hear this sound. You must complete a sequence of 25 symbols. You have 2 minutes to do it. So, think back. Who's most likely to fail this test? Choose carefully, because remember, if the player you pick succeeds, you could be on that loser's bench and out of the game before you've even started. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to choose the loser. Here's what happened when all-round mental skills were put to the test on their assessment day.
If there's a question comes up that depends a lot on reaction times and being very quick, I would nominate one of the girls. The girls are a little bit slower, a bit more methodical, trying to work it out, using their fingers and toes.
Purely on reaction, thinking back to the log exercise yesterday where we had to jump up, I mean, Anna did not even jump up at all, so I don't know whether she just didn't have a clue or, you know.
I'm least worried about Anna. I think overall, I don't think she's got any particular strengths, and I think she's got a couple of weaknesses.
She was the slowest, and I can't actually remember her answering one single question.
Nick or Anna. I don't know why I'd pick Anna, actually. It's just a gut feeling at the moment. Nick will probably be average, but I think the weakest ones will probably be Chris and Fleur. I'd like to be chosen for a logical one, and I think that a lot of the contestants wouldn't think that I'd be good at something like that.
Well, that's how they got on at the time. Let's see how they voted tonight.
Nick.
Steph.
Anna.
Anna.
Fleur.
Chris. So, Anna, it looks like it's going to be you doing the first round and the first task. How do you feel about this?
Nervous.
I would have thought you might have been quite delighted, because you did say, didn't you, that this would be one of the tests that you would quite enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think I can do this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Feeling confident?
Yeah.
Well, that should certainly make Chris and Steph feel very worried. Chris, why did you choose Anna?
I chose Anna, I suppose, on the basis of all the tests that we did on the away day. I think the skills that are required for this, she demonstrated she didn't have.
All right, so you're pretty confident she might fail?
I might as well be. I've done it now.
You certainly have. And Steph, why did you choose Anna?
When we had the results given to us from the Mensa test, Anna actually had the poorest results. And when we took the Mensa test, it was all about symbols. And obviously this is a test that has symbols in it. And the other reason was being, we did a test on the away day that involved reaction time. And I really didn't think that Anna's reaction time was very quick.
Anna, they think you're going to fail. Let's find out. You look very focused and very relaxed. Is that how you're feeling?
I'm trying to calm my nerves a little bit.
Well, you're sounding very, very calm. Now, of course, if you fail this test, you'll be straight onto that loser's bench. Forget about the £10,000. But if you're as relaxed as I think you are, and you manage to do this task, there's 2 people sitting over there, namely Chris and Steph, who you have the opportunity of voting onto that loser's bench in your place. Now, remember, there are 25 symbols to get in just 2 minutes, so take up your position. And Anna, your fight for survival starts now. This game is all about concentration. Anna only has to find 25 specific shapes, but with 64 to choose from, keeping calm is the key. And some of them are very similar to others. That's 10 done and only 1 wrong so far. 20 done, only 5 left to get and 30 seconds to go. Seconds. Time's up. Well, Anna, I don't know if you realise how close you were. There was 3 symbols left to go. It's a tough one, isn't it?
I just lost it. They just blurred.
Well, you didn't succeed, which sadly means that you've got to take a short trip onto the losers' bench. Let's hear it for Anna. So, 1 down and 5 left. Chris and Steph, breathing with relief, I should imagine.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's plenty more rounds to go. Now it's time to discover who'll be fighting for survival in round 2. This time, we're testing maths skills. So, this is straightforward mental arithmetic. I'll give you a starting number, say 15, and then give you a sum to do. For example, multiply by 3. The answer to that sum, in this case 45, is now the starting point for the next sum, and so on. You have 2 minutes to complete 15 sums. So, from what you've learnt about your opponents, who will fail the maths test? It's time to choose the loser. Here's what happened when maths came under the spotlight during the assessment.
Any one of the 3 girls I would go for. I don't think that's their strong point. The 3 lads are stronger at the mathematical things than the 3 girls, so I'd have no qualms picking any one of the 3 girls.
I was sort of best of the girls, but only slightly above Anna, so she's sort of not too bad, but Fleur was considerably lower, so I would definitely nominate Fleur for that.
Nick has been a little overconfident with figures on some occasions and has been very upset when he hasn't hit the mark.
Yeah, I think Nick might be someone to pick if there was a time-based maths challenge.
In the early rounds, where there are more people, I may well actually nominate someone strong on the basis of thinking that all the other people are going to vote for the obvious one who will fail it. Then if they do actually succeed at the challenge, they can't nominate me out because I haven't voted for them. But it could backfire.
Well, will they have changed their minds since then? It's time to find out.
Steph.
Fleur.
Ian.
Ian.
Nick. Well, Ian?
Well, I'll remember yous.
You did do very well in the maths test, didn't you?
I was lucky to come top in the maths test, but it's different doing it out here. Bit of pressure on you.
Steph, you have chosen the man to do the task. Why, bearing in mind that he did incredibly well at maths?
I knew he came top, but I'm going for a tactical manoeuvre this time, Ulrika.
Well, it's a bit late, but here's a little warning. It might come back and haunt you in a few minutes, and the same applies to Nick, your clever tactical voting.
Yes, maybe not quite so clever now.
Wasn't really, maybe not. Well, Ian, let's see how your math skills are. Come on. You're shaking.
I'm a bit nervous, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
A bit or a...
Well, £10,000 worth of nervousness.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
It is. It'll take me and the lads away for a quiet weekend or 2.
OK, now listen. You know that you'll be joining Anna on the loser's bench if you don't succeed in this task. But you could possibly have sweet revenge on Steph or Nick. There are 15 sums to complete in 2 minutes. And I can tell you now that your starting number is 100, and the number you're trying to reach is also 100. Ian, your fight for survival starts now. Minus 36.
64.
Divide by 8.
8.
Add 265.
273.
Minus 33.
240.
25% of this.
60.
Times 7.
360.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Times 7.
420.
Divide by 20.
12.
Incorrect. Divide
21.
times 9.
189.
Minus 112.
77.
Divide by 11.
7.
Times 300.
2,100.
Triple this.
6,300.
Divide by 900.
60.
Incorrect.
6.
Divide by 900.
60. 6. No, 6. 600.
Divide by 900.
70.
Incorrect.
7.
Plus 52.
59.
Plus 41.
100. I'm made up now. Thank you, Snow.
We can now turn our attention to, Steph or Nick. Who will you want to join Anna on the losers' bench?
I'm sorry, folks, you're both nice people, but one of you's got to go, and I really want Nick to go.
What were you telling me about that tactical voting?
It didn't quite work out the way I planned.
No, it didn't. It was a dangerous...
It was a good idea at the time, but...
Was it really? I'm not so sure. How do you feel about this? Were you pretty confident he was going to pick you?
I was fairly confident, yes, that he would pick me.
Why did you pick Nick?
Nick represented more of a danger than Steph.
Now listen, you're back in the running for £10,000, but I'm afraid, as I said, it's the end of the road for you, Nick. So, gentlemen, take your positions. So, 2 down and 4 left. Ian, don't relax too much because there's no saying you won't be voted to do the next task. And Steph.
Well, I think my luck's in tonight, Ulrika.
Really?
I think I was hanging on by the skin of my teeth, but I'm feeling quite confident now.
All right, then. So let's find out who's going to be next to fall by the wayside. Round 3 is a test of your climbing skills. This is how it works. This is the Rock, a motorised climbing wall which moves at varying speeds and also tilts. If you touch the ground or fall off, that's it, you've lost. Your target is to keep climbing for 2 minutes. So, think back to what you learnt about your opponents. Who's going to fail? It's time to choose the loser.
It might sound sexist, but it's only natural. The lads had to practically sort of give each of the girls a lift across the monkey bars. If that task came up, I think that would knock one of them out.
Probably Fleur would be the person I'd pick.
Chris is tough not to crack. I think he's a bit devious as well.
I looked at Chris at one point and he seemed to be quite apprehensive. He was asking a lot of questions, and whereas the other 2 boys were very quiet, very calm, Chris seemed a little bit on edge, and I picked up on that.
Oh, it's a bit cosy.
Well, let's see how they voted tonight.
Fleur.
Fleur.
Chris.
Chris. Interesting. It's a draw. And what happens in the event of a draw on Dog Eat Dog is that the casting vote will go to the person who last went to the loser's bench. And that was, in fact, Nick. It's between Fleur and Chris, so tell us who it's going to be and why.
I am going to choose Chris, and the reason is because I think it'll be quite entertaining.
Well, the task awaits you. Come with me. For your head protection, I think that is the right way around. Were you expecting Nick to put you up for this?
I was expecting Nick to. I wasn't expecting the girls to before.
Oh.
Sorry.
How confident and competent are you?
Well, I haven't done any kind of climbing of any kind for about 20 years. And I've got a bit of a disadvantage with my strength below my waist rather than above it. But I'll give it a... in the nicest possible way. But I'll be giving it a bash.
Anyway, you know the rules.
Yes.
Please take up your position. And here comes lovely Harvey. Harvey is our safety consultant. And if at any stage he has to intervene, that'll be it, sadly, for Chris. Are you ready, Chris?
Yeah, as I'll ever be.
OK. Your fight for survival starts now. The rock is a test of stamina more than anything else. All Chris has to do is keep pace with the wall. Now, it started quite gently, but the pace will pick up soon. He's doing well, keeping a constant height on the wall. Now comes the first tilt. He needs to hang on and start climbing again as soon as he can. Chris, you've got to get moving. Will be starting to get tired now, and the worst is yet to come. "30 seconds to hold on. Seconds left. He just needs to hang on. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. He's done it. You realised you were, but I saw your hands begin to shake and one foot came off the rock. How tough was that?
Well, at the moment I'm having trouble speaking properly. My mouth is too dry. But, yeah, that was a nightmare. When it tilts, it's just a complete disaster. And, oh, I didn't think I was going to make it at the end there, but it was very touch and go.
Right. Let's turn our attention now to a very nervous lady sitting over there. There's Steph and there's Fleur. Both these ladies voted for you, believing that you would not complete this task, Chris. You can now choose either Steph or Fleur to go and sit on the loser's bench.
It's going to be Fleur.
Fleur, come down. You haven't had the chance to have a go at any of the tasks. How does that feel?
To
to be voted
I
out?
would have liked to have had a go, but not at this, so good on you.
So you put him up for it instead. And why Fleur?
I'm a bit concerned about her high IQ, and I think later in the game it might have proved a good idea to have got rid of her.
So it's on to the loser's bench for you, and it's back in the game for Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your positions. Well, Steph, it's nice to see you still smiling. Is that nerves?
I think more relief than anything, Ulrika. That's third time lucky for me there, I think.
Certainly very, very close. So, we're down to the final 3. One of you will be a victim in round 4, which tests word power. These 16 letters can be placed in this 4x4 grid in such a way as to simultaneously spell out 8 different words, 4 reading across and 4 down. You must solve the crossword-style clues in order to insert the letters into the grid correctly. For example, clue 2 down is sword fight, which is duel. You have 2 minutes to complete the grid. So, think back to your assessment. Who was worst at words? It's time to choose the loser. Here's what happened when they had to handle words.
I would pick one of the girls, probably Steph.
I think part of me wants to say Ian, and although he did score highly, I don't think he particularly enjoys doing mental challenges.
Word-wise, I think she's been pretty near the bottom of the group with marks. Steph, I think.
Well, that was then, and this is now. Please reveal your votes.
Steph.
Steph.
Ian.
Well, Steph, either your luck's about to run out, or you could be very, very lucky.
When we went away, we did an English test, and I didn't score too highly, but I think I did okay.
All right, then. Steph, let's see how you are with words. I think it's fair to say that you did do the worst when it came to the word test. Is that putting you off at this stage?
A little bit.
All right, take up your position. Remember, you must fill up the grid so it spells out 4 words going across and 4 words going down, and you have 2 minutes in which to do it. Steph, your fight for survival starts now. She's going for 2 down, a continent. That's wrong. This could cost her time. Now she's got it.
Lads. Oh, no. Odds. 1 down. Hurl.
First word that you put down
did
is
it wrong.
incorrect. Continent, you put land.
I know.
And at that stage, of course, I thought you were going to run into terrible trouble because with the first word wrong, you
I'm
can't go
stuck.
anywhere from there. So what was your change of thinking?
I saw Ring of Light and I couldn't think of anything else except for Halo. And I saw the letters were there, and once that was in, The rest just slotted in nicely.
Oh, it certainly did. Now then, you now have a choice between Ian or Chris to take your place on the loser's bench. Who will it be?
I think I'm going to choose Chris.
Chris, come over here. You must feel a little upset by this.
Yes, yeah.
You didn't choose Steph
That's right, yeah.
before, and now she's chosen you. Was that a surprise?
No.
So, do you think you're the strongest person here, then?
Oh, not anymore, I'm not, no.
No.
No. So no, absolutely not.
Why did you choose Chris?
I think just out of the two, Chris was the one who sort of poses the most threat to me.
See, she thinks you're the strongest.
Oh, good. No, you said it, yeah, that's the reason.
So you're back in the game, Steph. So please take your places. And finally, there were two. You're now playing head-to-head. Now, this game is all about nerve. Come and see how it works. Now, this game is called Stealth. And very simply, you have to walk from here to the far end and press the button on the spike. The bad news is that if you move too suddenly, an alarm will go off. And you must step back to the last square you successfully cleared. Now, the sensors at the end will show just how close you are to setting off the alarm. Ian and Steph, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your fight for survival starts now.
Stupid machine.
Just the toughest thing you've ever had to do?
She was in front of me, and I was thinking a few things.
You were, in fact, talking to the floor. Were you aware of that?
I thought the machine was wrong.
Well, it really doesn't matter because you've come through it, so you did fantastically well. And I'm very sorry, Steph, but you know what this means, don't you? Let's hear it for Steph. Now then, Ian, you are tonight's top dog, and you could be winning £10,000. Did you think you would get this far?
No, especially when it came to this last game and Steph being a dancer. I thought that was it. No chance.
All right, well, let's see if the others thought it would be you.
Ian is a very, very extrovert, brash Irishman who's hiding a lot of his talents.
Very, if you like, full of himself, but I think it might go against him. I think he might be too confident when we're in there.
He's quite a sensitive guy, but he's very confident and he comes across as he likes a bit of a challenge.
He's got the gift of the gab, but he can actually back it up.
You know, if I wasn't fighting for this money myself, Ian was the man I'd like to win it.
You are the winner, but it's not quite over yet. You're now playing for £10,000, but you could still leave empty-handed. Because this is where the losers can take their ultimate revenge. I have here 5 general knowledge questions, each in a separate category. You don't have to answer them yourself. Instead, for each question, you must decide which of that lot is most likely to get it wrong. For each one they do get wrong, you score a point. But for each one they get right, they score a point. The first to 3 points win. Now, if you win, the 10 grand is yours. But if they win, they take your 10 grand and share it amongst themselves, walking away with 2 grand each. An unexpected surprise, perhaps. So you may be top dog, but you won't be any richer. You can only choose each of them once, so think carefully.
Okay.
Let's play for £10,000. The first subject is film. Who is most likely to get a question on film wrong?
I don't know, but I wouldn't pick Steph because she's in the arts business. I'm going to pick Fleur.
Fleur, step forward, please. Here's the question. Who won the Oscar for Best Director in 2000 for American Beauty?
Zeffirelli?
The correct answer is Sam Mendes. 1 point to Ian. We now move on to our second category, which is history. Who do you think is going to get this wrong?
I've got a lot of faith in the 2 lads sitting there, so I'm not going to pick any of them. Possibly because Chris is older, so he knows a lot more history. I'd like to ask Steph.
Steph, please step forward. Here's the question. Which civil rights leader gave his I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. on the 28th of August, 1963?
Is it Martin Luther King?
The correct answer is Martin Luther King. So, Ian, it's 1-1.
Oops.
Our next category is food and drink. Who would you like to step forward for a question on food and drink?
Chris, you probably cook a lot, being a father. So I'd like to go for Nick.
Nick, please step forward. Here's the question. From which country does the cheese Gorgonzola originate?
Is it Italy?
The correct answer is Italy. So, Ian, if they answer the next question correctly, they will take away your £10,000. So think carefully when you choose somebody to answer a question on sport.
I'm going to have to go for Anna.
Anna, please step forward. OK, Anna and Ian, this is for £10,000. Here's the question. Which horse won the Grand National in 1973, 1974 and 1977?
I'm gonna have to guess. Desert Orchid.
For £10,000, the correct answer is Red Rum. 1 point. Well, Ian, this is as close as it's ever going to get. All that stands between you and the £10,000
It's Chris.
is 1 point. And the category is art. Chris, please step forward. If you answer this question correctly, you will personally gain £2,000 and so will your 4 colleagues. Here's the question. Which artist, born in 1776, painted The Hay Wain?
I've got 2 in mind. I'm going to go for Constable.
You answered Constable. The correct answer is John Constable. Ian, I can only imagine how you're feeling now. You've been perky and jolly throughout the show, and you must feel...
Like getting hammered now.
Did you know the answer to the last question?
Yes.
So you knew?
Yes.
I'm very, very sorry. But there's 5 people over there who are absolutely delighted. How are you feeling, guys?
Absolutely
Great.
delighted.
Sorry. Ian, you tried. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that really is Dog Eat Dog. See you next time, and remember, every dog has its day. Good night.
I can't believe I've lost it. I'm devastated. Flipping 10 grand.
£10,000 in his grasp and it slipped away.
Hopefully he'll buy me a drink tonight.
He flirted with all 3 of us, and I think that was one of his tactics, and to be honest, it didn't really work.
I'm really delighted that we got our own back.
Nice, new clothes, new outfit. It'd be really good, yeah.
It was great. It was brilliant, but I do feel terrible for it. Ish.
I get nothing. I get nothing. All that.